Blog Talk Radio.
Lift off on another episode of Tarot Today Radio here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. For the past 12 years, we've been bringing you the world of tarot every week. This is the official broadcast of the Tarot Guild, now in our 18th year, the international organization for tarot lovers, students, and professionals around the globe, with the world's only full-featured tarot social media networking platform, thetarotguild.com. I'm your host, Dax Carlisle. I'm coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. And joining me, as always, my fabulous co-host. She is the Vice President of the Tarot Guild and Director of Communications. She's a professional tarot reader and a crystal Reiki master, and she's coming to us live from Amarillo, Texas. It's the fabulous Mary Brown. Hey, Mary.
Hey, Dax. Hey, everybody. Happy Psychic Saturday.
Here we are again. Boy, the weeks are just zipping by. We're almost at the end of the year.
It's shocking. I'm shocked.
It really is.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for 2021 to be over because I really enjoyed it. Okay, I can't fix that. I'll really be glad for 2021 to be over. Come on. Aren't we all going to be sort of, aren't we looking forward to...
Yeah, the thing is that 2021 is a 5-year, 2 + 2 + 1, right? And hey, you can get a lot accomplished. I got a lot accomplished this year. You have a lot of energy. It's like Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde always gets the negative. What's the word for it? Treatment. But in reality, there's like a lot of energy also, so you can get a lot done. It's the same with 5 in numerology. Like there's a lot of energy, you can get a lot accomplished, but it can also quickly devolve down into chaos. It's the chaos number too. So 2022, we're moving into a 6-year, back to harmony and balance, Mary.
Yay. That sounds good. That sounds really good.
Awesome
I
sauce.
want harmony.
Yeah. And we are a live call-in show. I want to let everybody know you can give us a ring at 714-816-4628. You can also join us in the chat room at chat.psychictalk.net. Chat.psychictalk.net. If you're already on our Psychic Talk Radio website at psychictalk.net, you can just click live at the top of any page. That'll take you over to the current show page. Scroll down below the player and you'll find the chat room. It takes a second for it to populate and you can jump in there. Who's in the chat room, Mary? Is anybody in the chat room?
Well, looking in the chat room, I see you.
I think it's...
And I see me.
I think it's just us today.
Wow.
We usually have a few people in there, hanging out with us, but it's crickets in there.
Well,
come on, people.
I know.
Come join us.
Yeah, I know. Like Sharona was going to listen later in archive. I think Jason will probably pop in later. Probably Charlotte. The gang. the gang, the usual suspects.
Yeah. Awesome sauce. So we hope you'll join us in the chat room, but we would love to chat with you live on air, 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press the 1 on the dial pad so that we know that you want to be live on air. That I can't even talk today. That way we know you're going to be wanting to be live on air with us. You know, it actually raises your hand. They put a hand up next to your phone number on the switchboard now. That's a new feature, actually. So we know you want to be live on air with us. But in addition to our regular, open lines and calling in and everything, we've got a special guest this week. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Before we bring our guest on, though, real quick, did you get a card of the day, Mary? I didn't see your card of the day.
Yes. Well, you don't have to worry. You can find it on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. We have a page and we have a group. Like the page, join the group, join the conversation. And today's card of the day comes to you from the Shaman's Dream Oracle by Alberto Violdo and Colette Barron-Reed with beautiful artwork.
Oh, wow.
By Jenna Della Cretaglia, and it's card number 51. That's another 6, right? So maybe it's a good one. Look, it's about the stars in the sky, and I love this card because it's a card of limitless possibilities. It's reminding us that, look, they're all out there. There's all kinds of possibilities out there, more than you can count, just like the stars in the sky. And use that. Use that every once in a while. When you start to feel like you don't have any options available to you, which is a horrible, horrible feeling. But if anybody out there ever feels like that, go out at night, look at those stars in the sky and see how you just can't count them. It's limitless. And use that as kind of your talisman, your amulet, whatever you want to call it, your reminder, your signal that, hey, there's more options out there than you're thinking of right now. And look for the brightest star and let that be your guide. Say, I'm going to reach that, whatever that means. It's a metaphor. But, so that is my card of the day, and you can find that again on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook. What do their numbers look like today? What's going on? What card did you get?
Let's see here. Let's see. So the entire date adds up to an 8. That's the number of abundance in numerology. And the day is the 18th. So 1 plus 8 is 9. That's endings. So this is a great day to make room for more abundance to come into your life. You can literally and figuratively clean out the closets, get rid of what no longer serves you, whether it's things literally in your closet that you haven't touched in 6 months or 6 years, or, belief systems, habits, even relationships that no longer serve you. Let them go. Make room for the new to come in, especially, this time of year is perfect for that at the end of the year. The other thing is I got the Queen of Wands. Okay, so that's that fiery energy, following your passions. And the message today with the Queen of Wands is to trust your intuition. And, when you go out there in pursuit of your dreams, don't be afraid to be, confident and proud about what you're doing. Take no apologies about it, especially today. And what you'll find is, because a lot of times we walk on eggshells, Mary, but I think, what I'm getting today is that you'll be surprised that you'll actually attract people and attract the admiration of people with your confidence and your independence. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. There is nothing more sexy than confidence. Remember that. Girls and guys, that's the sexiest thing you can put on. So you're going to attract for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see Jason. Jason is in the chat room. Hi, Jason. I'm typing it in there now. Oh, I can't spell his name. There we go. Spelling it
Hi,
backwards.
Jason.
He said something about Rachel. Is there a Rachel? Oh, Rachel's in there. Hi, Rachel. Okay, so we got Rachel. And we've got Jason. So people are coming in the chat room. We are going to talk about the Clarity Tarot. It's a new deck that's coming out and illustrated by Kait Matthews. And we've got the fabulous Debra Zachau on. And do you want to, should we just go ahead and, let's just bring on Debra here. Oh, wait, my switchboard, Mary, my switchboard is jumping all over the place. I don't know if it's because there's so many callers on here, but I'm having trouble. It's scrolling up by itself, and I'm trying to hit the button next to Deborah's name. This is ridiculous. There we go. I finally got to click it. Hey, are you there, Debra?
Goodness. Did you make it in?
The switchboard didn't want to let you come on, Deb.
Yay!
Everybody slid away.
Yay! She got through.
Yay!
Thank you for having me on. This is so fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks
We're
for
so glad
being
to have
here.
You. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm really excited to talk about the new deck and how to read tarot, and I love the way you have put your tarotguild.com together. Anybody, I'm telling all my students go there, join. It's just you'll find your people, you'll find your topic, because that's how we grow into being good advisors, is to find out the basics first, and then we grow into our unique self and our unique language, unique language of spirit.
Yeah.
And that's when we become a sovereign being in this field. And so you're going to my students will be able to tap into a whole lot of stuff on the guild. So thanks for creating it.
Right. Yes, and get-togethers, you can become a premium member, folks, and it gets you access to all these free goodies. We do these workshops and get-togethers, Q&As, and panel discussions. Deb, we want to have you on a panel discussion with a bunch of us, and we're just all chatting about tarot, and people on a Zoom meeting, and everybody can jump in and ask questions and things like that. We're going to do a lot more of that in 2022. In fact, terrific. I want to do my course over again live on Zoom. I think that is going to be great. Yeah, going to update it for 2022 and all. I've been basically teaching the same way since 2004. Tarot by the numbers is what it's called. But before we get into the new deck, Deb, how did you get started in all this stuff? Because everybody has a really cool crazy tarot, how I got started in tarot story, right?
I wish I could say I was born in psychic. I think everyone is born psychic, but I'm not third generation from the craft or anything like that. I had an interest, and that's how life works. If you follow your fascination enough, it's going to give you some really fun ride. And so I really loved the whole idea of being able to predict the future and being psychic and everything. And in the 80s, when I lived in Seattle, when Seattle was not the way it is now, when it was small, there was a metaphysical bookshop that opened up downtown, one metaphysical books. And it was before the computer and everything. So I just signed up for every class. I learned basic astrology and moonology and palmistry and tarot, and I love the tarot, so I stuck with that. And I also owned, while I was learning that, I owned a hair salon, and so I would build. Everyone builds a clientele with the same kind of people they are. So I had psychic people come, or people who wanted to learn more about stuff. So I had a great clientele, and what I would do is not so much on them specifically like doing readings for my clients because I was doing their hair. I didn't want to have to do readings too, but I wanted to test.
That's cool.
The tarot. I wanted to test it out and test my psychic ability. And so just to be clear, I know you have a lot of accomplished people listening in. The Two of Swords in my deck is going to be the same definition as the Two of Swords in your deck. That's the universal thing. The cards mean the same thing. It's what it sits next to. It's the vibe you get from spirit. It's the language you build that might sway from the norm. That's what you build up. So what I wanted to do, don't think less of me, but in the 80s.
What did you do?
In the 80s, Reno, Nevada a bunch of people started building really fancy casinos, the MGM, Circus, and there was nobody traveling to Reno. And Seattle was starting to get rich, under the covers rich. These people, these kids out of high school would all of a sudden become stockholders in very rich companies. So the casinos started chartering planes for one-day trips, free. People could just sign up and go to Reno for the day. And as long as you pledge $300, I know, as long as you pledge $300 that you're going to spend in any one of these big casinos, then you could just go down for the day and enjoy that. So all my customers were starting to do that and all that. So I said, okay, tell me what day you're going. And then before that day began, I would, with the tarot, do an algorithm for morning, noon, and night, when the money might happen, how big the cash would be, if they'd win it all.
Wow.
So this was private. Yeah.
Wow.
So then 6 weeks later, they come back for their haircut, and I'd have I'd pull their paper out of their algorithm, ask them about the event. Now, this is the biggest lesson I learned, and I was so glad it was in the beginning. So I would pull out the paper for Sam. Let's say, Sam, did you win any money? No, I didn't win a thing. But on my algorithm, I saw him winning in the afternoon a fair amount of money. I'd get the high numbers in pentacles or something, and I'd have to really grill him. Say, are you sure there wasn't anything you won? Oh, well, yeah, I won a little. And then as the story came out, ended up Sam won like $500 in one pull of a machine level. And it was in the afternoon. But see, what happened is that Sam put it all back and then some. So at the end of the day, he didn't win a thing, see. So what I learned was, you've got to go behind your client's eyes. And numerology does this really well, too, to see what their traits are, their tendencies are, so I could better serve them. But so it's not so much what's on the table in cards. It's how that client will use that information. You see what I mean?
It's like,
it's relative.
It's like, yes, you're going to win, but because of who you are, you are going to blow it.
Because you have this addiction.
I love it.
So, and so it's a frame of reference and all that stuff. So I learned all of that. So that's how I started that part. And then I had to put it away to make a living. And then I picked it back up again. And then when I moved from Seattle, it was getting to be a town I didn't know anymore. So I went ahead to Oceanside, Southern Coast in San Diego, and started doing what I wanted to do, which is, for work, for my job, I work through hospice with hairdressing. So I'd go into people's homes who couldn't get out. And then I learned more about that process, the process of dying and the holistic honor of that. And then started building my tarot business. And so for my job now, what I do is I work the psychic hotlines. I have 2 psychic hotlines I work on. That's my job. But my work is training others to do good work in the psychic sciences. So I have Learn Tarot Once and For All video course, and then I have these practice sessions, and because I want to get people from novice to paid pro. That's my passion. My work, though, is the hotlines, and so if you want to learn how to that part of it, I can teach that part of it, and then spiritual part. That's
we have to have you come on. We have to have you come to the guild, and you're already in the guild. You're a member, and you're a premium member, and you're on the website. But what I mean is, we have to have you come do some, little Zoom get-togethers for our members. Talk about the business side of tarot. Yeah, it would be great to do some workshops on that in 2022.
I'd love to do that.
Let's work on that. But hey, okay, so you got started, and this is what you do, and that was the progression. Now, how does your own tarot deck come about then?
Oh, okay, so I was giving lessons on how to give in-person lessons in an office on how to read the tarot, and they would meet every week. And Kait Matthews is a wonderful artist, owned a big art gallery in Vista, California, and just very accomplished. And she came to one of my classes, which I was delighted for. I love Kait. And so I was teaching the tarot, and then after the class, everyone left, and she just left over. I says, I didn't know you had an interest in reading the tarot. She goes, now that I'm here in your class, it was a good class, I don't think I want to read the tarot. I just love the art of the tarot and the spiritualness of the tarot and the images, what each image means, and all the stuff that's inside the image. And then we started talking. I said, well, I know the tarot and you know the art, so how about that? And how it progressed is that we just created this. And I got to tell you, Kait Matthews at kaitmatthewsart.com. You just go visit her and see her stuff. She and I developed 5 specific components to this deck to help people who are reading for a living or just learning too. But on the hotlines, it's one call right after the other. It's hard to stay in alignment with your intuition and not drift off into your imagination, or worse yet, your bias and opinions. You got to stay clean of that. So I developed these components in this one deck called the Clarity Deck that's coming out in May, where it has keywords for love and money, so you can stay on track inside a reading and do good work, even if you're a little tired or you feel your emotions coming up because you've heard a story that brings up emotion. You got to stay in the center, right? So she said she would accommodate that, and then she would create the image for that. So there's 5 specific components that are different in this deck coming together, and then she every week she would send me 1 or 2 images to start working with, and so I wrote the keywords and all of that stuff, and then at the end of that, it was like $40 to get a deck printed. Our cost was a very expensive. It's a very expensive to do it on your own. So what she did was she started soliciting the deck to publishers, and she had the magic touch on that. I so love that, because I don't know if she's listening to this right now, but I got to tell you, I thought, yeah, sure, a publisher's going to pick us, right? There's like a gazillion decks out there. Yes, your art is great. Yes, my concept is perfect. But I realize, I say that alone in my own room. I don't. And oh my gosh, Red Feather got back to her, and it was the head of Red Feather, Chris, called her and said, we have a question about this, and she got back to him in seconds. She was right, and that's another benefit. If you're building a business, answer your phone when they call.
Yeah.
And she answered his question right away as he was going into the meeting to set up the next year's or the following session's decks, and they voted on it and got art and wanted to publish ours. So Red Feather is publishing ours, like I said. So it was Kait, and it was Kait and doing it, and I just love it. And
that's awesome.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Thanks for letting me jibber jabber on about it. Holy cow, I'm all excited and shaking.
No, it's well. Look, you're telling us how the sausage gets made, and not all the time do people realize, what it takes. That there's a lot of competition out there with the publishers to get your deck done, no matter published by them, no matter how wonderful it is, and. Knowing that, I think also should encourage people to keep at it. Like if one path seems blocked, go around the mountain. Like go around through, above, below.
Right. And there's another thing I learned that I learned early on, and I was so grateful that Kait did it too. Is that you create to create. You don't create with the anticipation of where it's going to live, because if you want to paint a picture, just paint the picture and don't worry about whose wall it's going to go on. You just really need to get through all. If you're going to write a book, write the book. Don't query and say, well, is it going to do well? Who's going to publish it? Do I have to self-publish? Don't do it. Just write the book. Use your words and get the product done.
That's great advice. Absolutely. So I saw this comes out when? In May next year?
May, yep. In May 2022.
May 22. Yeah. So here's something we can look forward to in 22 already. See? It's going to be a good year.
Like I keep saying, all new in 2022. It's all new in 2022.
I like that.
And you can pre-order now, folks. You can pre-order on Amazon, actually. I did also want to mention I put KaitMatthews.com into the chat room for everybody. Good. It's and for those listening in archive you're out and about, it's Kait with a K, Kait, Matthews with 2 T's. So it's Kait with a K, Kait, Matthews with 2 T's, KaitMatthews.com. That'll take you right over there.
Thank you. It's KaitMatthewsArt.com, but I think either one is going to get you there. She's really
right. I tried to let me jump in real quick because I tried Kait Matthews Art and it would not go anywhere. So I tried KaitMatthews.com and it took me to her website. So that's why I'm giving this out, because I know earlier you said art and it's not working. So go to KaitMatthews.com, folks. Yeah, you'll see all of her illustrations. You'll also see the Clarity Tarot page, and it says Tarot Deck at the top of the website. You can go there, and there's a link on there to go over to Amazon to pre-order too.
Yay. And also, if anybody is out there writing children's books or regular books that would need illustration, or you've got an idea for your own oracle or tarot deck, girl, she knows the ropes. So,
and she's fun to work with, it sounds like, too. It sounds like this was a blast.
It is. Yeah. Oh, she's great. Great to work with.
So the keywords that you have for love and money on the cards, because, what I kind of like about, look, everybody's always split. Like, do they like decks with keywords on them, or would they rather there not be, any writing? There's the two extremes, right, that want, like, the whole paragraph, like, like maybe like, some of the Hay House tarot decks by Radley Valentine will give you, like, several, like, a whole big message, right? You seem to not do that. Like, you don't put a keyword for the general meaning of the card, right? You just have the keywords for love and money. Is it? right?
Right.
And
right.
I think that is a great innovation. I think that's something different. And I work on a hotline too, so like that I could see being really, really helpful because that's most of your readings are going to be either love or money. How did you go about finding those correspondences? Like, because there's a lot out there, a lot of different ways to go to try to boil it down to just, a couple of keywords. What was that like?
Quite frankly, you know what? When you have a problem in your life and you go for a solution, I'll just explain the problem in my life. When I was reading the hotline, I would have one call right after another, and I found myself not doing my best work after hour 3. So when I went into this whole process, it was love or money, because those are the 2 questions we get. And then I went through the eyes of my clientele. So it's the average person that's making their own choices for money and own choices for love, and then coupled, I privately I do the numerology too to make sure I say the words people can understand. But it's just by reading so many readings, I think I'm up to on one platform 6,000 readings, and it's just through that reading I test myself all the time on different combinations, and that's what I've come for. So some of the meanings of the cards, the keywords of the cards, or sentences in the cards may make you feel, make you want to go, I don't know if I have a relationship like that. Well, entertain the thought that you might try that on, just in case. They're not very far off from the general, but they really serve me well, that's for sure.
I think it's so cool. It's really, I think, a good idea. And Dax and I were talking, I think on the last show, about, we want innovation. Innovation doesn't mean just we're picking a different animal for this deck, or some of the theme decks out there, like, the latest TV franchise deck. We want something that's going to expand our vocabulary as readers.
Yes.
And so I think that's a nice new twist you put on it. It's clever.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
And I was reading the description on Amazon. I'm like, where do I see this deck? Where can I see this deck? So I'm looking at that, and you talk about how the deck can be used for mediumship. Now, there's other, there are people that will use playing cards for mediumship. Like you can use a lot of things, right? But was there anything you had in mind in the design of the deck, or maybe the book that goes with it? Is there a book that goes with it? Probably, right? It's Red Feather.
Yeah, there is a book. Yeah, there's more to it.
Is there, what makes this particularly good for mediumship? Your deck. So there's a way I read. I use the deck for mediumship and animal communication about the same. And so you can do it with any deck, not just my deck. Of course, I want you to try my deck, only because with one of the components that are different with the Clarity deck is the diversity, skin tones, diversity on there's some images throughout items inside the images that will, I think, correspond to what Spirit is trying to tell you. So let's say there's someone in Spirit trying to come through you for another person, and you're not sure what that is. Now, I do mediumship a little bit. I don't know. I do it my own way. I've just developed my own way, and I'd be happy to share how I do it. When you have the deck any deck in front of you, and you say, okay, there's someone in Spirit wanting to come through, and they're all upside down, and then you one by one flip them
on the table, one by one. And the same way, you flip them one on top of the other, until you get to a reversed court. Once you get to a reverse court, that's when the reading begins. So one time I did this and I didn't get a reverse court. And I was really bummed, but I trusted that I was not supposed to read that person. So that didn't work out, but that was just once out of a gazillion times. So don't let it worry you. There's always someone that comes through. Now, let's say it's a reversed night. Then in general, now remember I know there's accomplished people listening to this radio show, so understand that when I say something, it's not an absolute. You have to have your intuition guide you from this point. But where I'll start you out at, let's say the reverse Knight of Swords. So this person is in spirit, had possibly kind of a chaotic life. It could have been very intellectual, and so you do the traits of what the swords are like, but it's also a peer. So this person is a peer that's coming through, so it's someone that because it's a knight. Now, I don't care if I'm reading someone who's a grandmother, or if a knight comes through, it's a peer. That's my rule of thumb. So if a king or queen comes in and I'm talking to a 60-year-old, it's mother, father. You see what I'm saying? So it's how you can grow into it. So after you get that one reversed court, the reading begins at that point. So if the next one is another reverse, then these are people in spirit with them. So you go, that's the direction spirit wants you to do the reading. You see where I'm going? You feel it out?
Yeah, very clever.
Maybe the
I love it.
10. So this is how I teach it. Now, another thing, if you want to do animal communication, this is, like I said, any deck, right? So you know that animals live on a different realization. So you go behind the animal's eyes, right? So I also do the same thing to find out if there's a person in that animal's life that is causing problems or I should focus on. So let's say little Fifi is peeing in the house. I don't know, choose a problem. And so what I would do before anything else is go ahead and do that technique and get to a reverse court card and say, oh, I have a king here, king of wands, I have a feeling that this dog is nervous around loud voices, sharp tempers, changes in atmosphere, just it's like a panic. I'm just making this part up for the group, but you can kind of see how reverse courts can help you with people who are past or help you figure out about an animal. And then there's other ways you can use it for animal communication too, but that's a different frame of reference. Animals are. They're lower on the fourth dimension. They're closer to the third. So they're not plotting your death.
Your cat does not want to kill you, even though it seems to be acting that way.
Yes, right, exactly. And we can laugh about it.
That is really cool.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to jump in and say real quickly that we're already past the bottom of the hour. So after you finish up, maybe do the upcoming shows, and we'll come back with Debra and maybe take some calls then.
Sounds good. So what do we have coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network this week? Well, our next show is going to be on Monday, December 20th at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's the Wisdom of the Soul show with your host, Janice Fuchs. And that will be followed on Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, Spiritual Guidance Radio with angelic channel and healer Catherine Hahn, who's going to be giving free on-air guidance. And then Wednesday, we're having a very special episode, Wednesday, December 22nd, We're going to be talking Matrix Resurrections, kind of doing our old Hollywood Insider and spin on that. And then we're also going to do a psychic spin on the question, are we living in the Matrix? I don't know. But we're going to find out. We're going to draw cards on that. And, yeah, we'll do free on-air tarot readings, too. So that's going to be a special psychic spin episode. Going to be talking Matrix Resurrections. And then after that, it's Friday, Merry Christmas Eve, and Saturday we're going to be on break, and a Merry Christmas to everybody. And then Sharona will be back on Sunday for the Magic Universe show, and she's going to be talking about the Magician card and the Boho Pixie Tarot, plus doing free tarot mini readings and open lines as well. And that's what we have coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. You can find those by going to psychictalk.net/upcoming. Back to you, Dax.
Awesome. I also wanted to point out that that special Wednesday show that we're doing, because Matrix Resurrections is coming out, the fourth Matrix movie is coming out on that Wednesday, and because obviously we're not going to be doing a show on Christmas, but the date is 12/22/21. And that's the only time in history in our lives where the date is ever going to be like that. I just wanted to point that out. It's a magical alignment. Maybe that's why they decided to launch it on that day, or it could just be, it's a Christmas launch of the movie, and it just happens to be the Wednesday is when they normally do it, and it just happens to be that date. But it just seems like it's lined up somehow. 12/22/21. I just love. Oh my God, I just love that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is it's. They finally got the name. For a long time we didn't know the name, and then they said, it's going to be Matrix Resurrections, which makes sense because they're resurrecting people. Some of the characters that are supposedly dead. Anyway, but Mary, if you think about it, we're also resurrecting, like you said, Hollywood Insider for one special episode.
Yes, when Debra was talking about the little algorithm charts that she would make for her friends that would go to Reno, her clients that would go to Reno, I was thinking of how we used to predict the box office, like what the box office numbers were.
Right.
It was kind of like reminded me of that. So, yeah, that's going to be fun to talk about a big popcorn movie on Christmas week. It's a great time to release the movie because everybody's in from town, and you don't want those people just hanging around. Send them to the movie, get them out of your hair. Just joking. No, it'll be fun. Go ahead.
It was many, many years ago. I just wanted to tell everybody, if you didn't ever listen to our Hollywood Insider show, it was so much fun because for those that don't know, Mary was a Hollywood reporter and interviewer for years, and of course, we have tarot, so we combine the two. Like doing like a Hollywood show, about movies, but we had the tarot too, so we were able to predict the box office, and we were like 98% accurate. It was just absolutely fun, totally fun. Hey, before we get going again, just real quick, I also wanted to mention, because this year is just blasting through here, and I don't want anybody to miss our half off holiday sale, because we have half off everything right now at the Tarot Guild. So just go over to thetarotguild.com, and when you go over there, like right on the main page, on the front page, you're going to see Santa in his airplane. And just click on that banner. It says click here. It says half off sale. And you can book a private reading for 50% off. For example, a typical 40-minute reading would be $120. You can book it for $60 right now. Membership in the guild is billed annually, $12, so that's like $1 a month. And let's see what else. So we got half off tarot reader certification. Normally 2 payments of $67, $134. You can get certified for just 1 payment of $67 during our half off sale. And my course is also 50% off. If you're already a premium member, you can just go and get the promo code on the premium members group. And if you're not a member yet, just join. It's $1 a month, and you'll have instant access to the private premium members group and be able to get the promo code and get the half off certification and everything like that. So there you go, folks. The half off holiday sale. Go over to thetarotguild.com and you will find it. Okay, so back to Deb here. And what time's it getting to be? We got about another 15 minutes or so. We got to take some phone calls. You want to take some phone calls, Deb, by the way?
Sure. Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, we'll take some calls and
sure.
Also, just pull a card or two, whatever you'd like to do. And if we need more information, Mary or I can do that. Actually, I don't even have my deck out here. I'm really behind, Mary. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Oh, yeah.
And you call yourself a
Mary,
professional.
I know. Well, I am a professional. I'm professionally running radio shows right now. Not. Yes. Anyway, so sorry. I'm as I'm talking to you, I'm trying to find out what just happened with my deck. It disappeared on me here. God, I have a new computer, and so things are not functioning the way my old computer did. And there we go. I found my deck. Okay. Yeah, for those that don't know, I don't read with a physical deck on the radio shows. I actually push a button and it shuffles for me and lays all the cards out on my spread cloth, which is my computer screen. I just absolutely love it.
Oh,
I love it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So before we take a call, Mary, any other things, last things you wanted to ask Debra? Any more questions?
just wanted to make sure we all knew, like, how do we like keep up with you? Like, what's a good link that we should make sure everybody has?
Thank you. So it's just my name.com. So it's DebraZachau.com is my website. I'm Grow Your Light with Debra Zachau on Facebook. And then I do have a training, training.growyourlight.com. That's a video course that people who go to that video course, it's normally $98. I have it on sale for $88, but you have to go, just text me and I'll give you a certain code for a gift certificate or something like that. And then if you go through that, then you're signed up, then you're in the queue for practice classes. And so that's one of the things I didn't want to, because I sign up for a bunch of stuff and then I lose track of it. And it gets difficult and it feels like you're all alone. Well, people who sign up for my course and go through my basic videos and stuff, then we get on Zoom as a group or sometimes just one-on-one and practice and get you from novice to paid pro in no time, because we do good work out there, I was going to say kiddos. we do. I got to tell you, it started out being psychic and having it as a living is looked down upon, but I know we do really good work as long as your frame of reference is on top of things. And my gig, so it's on sale for $88. I love the number 88, double digits, and then
and abundance twice. It's a lucky number in Asia as well. 88.
Oh yes, 88. Oh, I love that number. Maybe I'll just keep it that way instead of just having it for December. But I'd be happy to do a reading. Is there anybody in line?
Well, we got a bunch of people in line, actually. And as I told you earlier, the studio is jumping around on my screen for some reason. It's a Blog Talk issue because all the other websites and everything else on my computer is working just fine except Blog Talk. So bear with me as I try to bring on and put back on mute, on hold, the callers, because it's just jumping up and down, Mary. So bear with me here, folks. Let's see who's been waiting the longest. It looks like area code 256. Let's see if this works. Area code 256. Caller, are you there? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Kimberly. I'm calling from Georgia.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
Hi, Kimberly. What's your birthday?
My birthday is November 5th, 1970.
Thank you so much. How can I help you? What's on your mind?
Well, I am looking for a promotion and career, and just wondering what about
that. So are you interested in starting a new career, or are you just interested in starting something that you really enjoy?
Starting a new career, something that's more passionate.
Yes. Well, you are a 7 life path. Means that once you get hooked into something that you really, really like, don't call you for dinner. Just let me be and let me get through this stuff. And you have a vision. You have an incredible intuitive nature. So whatever you want to tune into, but part of it's a very spiritual number as well. You could go online after this call and say, what does a life path 7 mean in numerology, and get some feedback on that, and that'll help you, because you have a mind that is so sharp. Oh my God. You can take a real dense topic. If you're interested in math, let's say, if that's your fascination, you can create new algorithms, and you're just amazing that way. The thing is trying to find something that you're passionate about. I have a feeling that you think, okay, you're. So I did a 10, just so everybody knows, because everyone reads tarot. I did a 10-card Celtic cross, and it shows. Spirit is telling me here for Kimberly that she wants to start something new, but she doesn't have the energy. I see you losing sleep with the 9 of Swords. I see a reverse Ace of Swords, meaning you can't rise above the adversity, almost like you're frozen. Do you have an idea of what pathway you would like to go down?
Yes, I do. But and you're right on. I have a job that takes all my time, and
sapping the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Kimberly, I'm sorry. Let me just ask before you go on, Deb. What was her birth date again? Kim, what's your birth date again?
It's November 5th,
November 5th, 1970.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was doing the numerology too, and I'm getting different numbers than what Debra gets, and so I was, just taking a look at that. Anyway, go ahead, Deb. I'm sorry.
So I Dax, I got 24/7. So the 24 means that you are made to work with other people. You are heart centered. So if you go into business, let's say, I'll just make up a business. Let's say my business. If you wanted, you are so intuitive that if you wanted to hone into that and serve others well, then your type of business would be one-on-one and some small.
Yeah, definitely that nurturer energy, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, but to get there, I show for everyone who reads tarot, I do a 10 cards pull down for Celtic, basic Celtic. And if the last card is not a major card, I keep laying cards down, each representing 30 days, give or take a couple of weeks. Till I get to a major, it tells me what the phase is on this. Now, the very next card we're talking about this time, January, I've got Judgment. This tells me, do not give up hope, because there's someone from your past, but long ago past. This could be kids you grew up with. It could be someone from school, from college, or something like just long ago past is going to be coming in to give you inspiration or answers or a direction to get you where you need to be. So if you have, so that's a promise that 2022 is holding for you right now. I feel bad. First of all, another thing that's coming up here, but the very next card with the Six of Wands is that you are really, really good at what you're doing right now. And I don't know if people at your work or your career is actually celebrating you for that or taking you for granted. How's that landing? Are they taking
the second part, taking you for granted?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a quiet little burn. It's a quiet burn. So I understand you. I see your motivation for calling. I want to celebrate you because you're in a spot. You're in a spot right now, but I got to tell you, it's short-lived. It's short-lived. So just
awesome.
Decide where you want to go and hang in there because someone's around the corner. Success is right around the corner for you, and you will rise above this adversity. 2022 is going to be all about you.
All right. Oh, yeah, especially because it's going to be that 6, you know. Kimberly, I hope that helped you out, and happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to you all, too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend there. We're going to go to another call. I don't have an area code for this one. They might be on a private line. They might be calling in on Skype or something. But for some reason, it's not showing the phone number. So I'm just going to try to bring them on here and say, hello, caller. You're live on air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Christine. I'm calling from California.
Hi, Christine. California.
Hi,
hello, California.
Hello,
what's your birthday, Christine?
9/12/77.
What was the last? I can't hear you very well. What is it? 19.
The 9/12/1977.
Oh, 77. Double digits. 9/12. And
so it was 9/12. Okay.
9/12. 1977. See, Dax and I have got our calculators going. Zip, zip. So a 36/9 is what I have, Dax. Do you have that too?
Yep, I got that too.
Okay.
9 life path. We love that. The old souls.
The old soul. So, are we talking about love or money? My sense is love, but I don't know.
Yes,
I was just trying to be psychic. I just tried to be psychic.
No, you're correct.
That's because 9 life paths. Oh my gosh, it's it takes you a little while to say yes, I'll surrender my heart. But when you do, it is surrendered, and you are all in. So tell me, what's going on, Christine? What's going on, sweetie?
I'm just confused with what he wants because he doesn't know how to express his feelings, and we've been together for many years, and I'm lost. I'm just really stuck, and I don't know.
Okay. Oh, sweetie, I know you're not alone. Can I have your person of interest first name?
Martine, like Martin.
Martine. And birthday for Martine?
12/24/74.
We'll get to his superpower and kryptonite. One moment. $274. Okay. So one of the things, so he's a 3 life path and a 3 O's. So one of the things you do well for him, what he gets, this is before I do any of the tarot, is that you mirror back his best self always, and at your own expense. So you'll tolerate poor behavior as long as you ensure he feels okay about the situation. So you, even saying this out loud, you're thinking, oh boy, that doesn't sound very good. But it's part of your superpower. But the kryptonite that you have with him is that he can be quite fractious in a way, or exuberant in a way that you can't. You're wondering where you fit in his life. And he's not very good at saying, "Oh, you fit in right here. Never forget that." Right? And for you guys could kiss goodbye in the morning. He's good for all day. He'll see you at night, right? But you need a little text in the afternoon. Touch base, hand holding, and he just forgets to do that. It's not like he gets up in the morning saying, "I want to make sure Christine feels insecure about the relationship." It's not that, even though it does feel like that sometimes. Now what I'm going to do, Christine, is I'm going to go behind Martine's eyes, right now with the cards. So hold on.
Okay.
And I'm just seeing. Okay. So I won't say all the cards here, but he's struggling a little bit with his own stuff, and that's another thing you do is that when someone struggles, it's like you just hold the light for them. You're not real pushy about what needs to be done. You give them suggestions, but basically with Martine, you just, because of the relationship you've established, you pretty much are there to support him, and then you pick up the pieces after he can't handle something. Right now, I do see that he's feeling pressured with family obligations of some sort. I've got the 9 of Wands here, so success is right around the corner for him, but he just doesn't do pressure well. He is going to rise above this, and this is going to be in the next 30 days, because I do 1-month increments, give or take a couple of weeks. He will rise above this thing, and it's like borderline chaos, and it could be just the holidays, Christine, for right this minute, and giving him the benefit of the doubt. Now back to where we need to be about the 4 corners of your question. Is it worth it? Is what's going on here? The one thing I just need for you to do is to back up far enough from the situation to realize that it's been this way for a long, long time. You being with someone just gets deeper and more intuitive about their needs. With Martine, he just leans on what you can do for him. But a lot of it is not a conscious level. So what do we do when someone bugs us on a conscious level? We go toe to toe and say, "That's bugging me." And if they're doing it on an unconscious level, you have to go. You kind of skirt it. You're very good at this, but you need to add humor into it and make it funny. I know this sounds so weird.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Because you're going to warm up again. Right now it's kind of up in the air and you're feeling insecure. I understand it, but it's going to warm up again. When it does warm up, because you cannot address the situation when it's cool. It's all cool. You have to have a warm up, and you're going to be eye to eye and very intimate and excited about being with him. And you think, "Oh, I don't want to bring this up because it feels so good," right? You got to bring it up. And then all you need to do. Easy for me to say. I hate saying I fall into that. All you need to do is this, but you build a foundation on humor and being funny and ribbing him about how he doesn't come through for you. Ribbing him in a way he's very sensitive. Got to be careful about that. But you rib him saying, right, but it becomes a thing you bring up, and so he'll get it on the backside of that.
I think he understands more with humor.
Yes, absolutely. So how you build the humor during this cool time. During this cool time, you send him anything that's funny. So when you initiate, because he's off in La La Land being really busy, you want to initiate text. This is your rule of thumb. When you initiate a text with someone you don't want to bug, but you want to touch base with, do not text a question. Only statements about what's going on in your life. And then you press send. When you press send, there's no time thing because, when you press the question, your lover needs to respond in a certain amount of time, adds the pressure, right? And you measure time with how much they love you. Don't set yourself up for that because you're very sensitive to that. Just just give them, this is a picture of the cake I baked, or this is what I'm doing today. I killed it in the meeting today, and leave it at that. And then he'll lean back into it, and then you start. And the next time you have a date with each other, go to a comedy club. Of course, it's all the restrictions now, but or turn on a funny movie and get some private jokes going. That when things are tense, you can throw out a private joke line to touch base with that person in a way that says, "Hey, you better pay attention. I don't want to leave you, but I need more than this."
I see, and
so that's some strategy.
Sucks to hear, but it's true, and you're so right on.
Yeah,
I knew that all along, but it just sucks to hear it from somebody else. But
but it doesn't mean that it can't be successful. Not to say to anybody who to leave or who to stay for.
Exactly.
We incarnate with agreements, and this is one of your agreements. And I think you're doing really, really well. With as sensitive as you are, he's so lucky you're still around. He's really lucky, and he'll see the light, I'm sure, because it looks like brighter days are ahead on this.
Well, we got to move on. I want to thank you for the call, Christine, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You.
Thank you, Christine.
We're rapidly running out of time here. Actually, it's already past the top of the hour. We only do an hour show, but let's try to squeeze. We're going to try to squeeze in another call because we're all talking in the background. You guys can't hear or see. We're all talking in the background amongst ourselves, going, I could just sit here and eat crackers and listen to Debra read people all day long.
Oh, God. That's such a high compliment. Thank you so much.
It's great.
You got the cracker compliment. Nobody gets that.
Mary, you're funny. Well, I love
it.
Sweet of you.
You should hear Jason. You should hear Jason in the chat room. He reads reversals, and he is just going nuts in the chat room. He's like, "This is effing amazing, Debra," and
he loves it.
Oh, thank you, Jason. Oh,
yes, Mary, we're going to have Debra. We're going to have Debra back on the show just so that we get to this part where, we can pull out our lunch and just bring people on and let Debra talk to them.
Like, take it away. I love it.
I'm just saying. Okay. So there's a ton. Let me look real quickly. There is a ton of phone calls, and I'm sorry we just can't get to all the phone calls. But I want to say this because I'm looking on our schedule here, psychictalk.net/upcoming. And so the next live show is on Monday, Spiritual Guidance Radio with Catherine Hahn. So you can tune in on that show. If we don't get to your call today, you can call in to talk to Catherine. Now, if you really, really want to talk to us, guess what? We're going to be back in just a few days, like we were saying, Wednesday, December 22nd, special day and time. We're not doing our Saturday show. We're doing our Wednesday Matrix Resurrections Psychic Spin. Are we living in the Matrix? And taking your phone calls. So if we don't get to you today, you can call in on Wednesday. This is great. Oh, love it, love it. But let's look through the list here and see who's been waiting the longest. Oh, my God, this thing, my studio, Mary, is still jumping around here. It looks like area code, that looks like 417 is. Yeah, I think that's it. Area code 417 has been waiting the longest. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
If that's me, it's Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
You made it on.
It is me. Cool. Hi, Debra.
Where are you calling in from?
Congratulations.
Hi, Rachel.
The Ozarks in Missouri.
Okay, I was wondering where you were. Nice.
Kind of the middle of nowhere. So, my question for Debra, and I'll tell you my birthday first because you want it.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
2453.
Thank you so much. What would you like to know, Rachel?
I would like to know, because it's about to be winter and I have some free time maybe. I'm really a workaholic. I work on the hotlines and I love it. So if I have free time, what would be the best creative action, creative focus for me for this winter?
Oh, wow.
I love this question. Might be good with that.
That's a great question. I love that.
It is a great
awesome.
It's a wonderful one. You know, you have learned so much from, let's say, from the hotlines, for reading the hotlines. It takes a special awareness. And one of the things I know about Rachel, because she is my friend, that I told her about this event for me, and she's calling in to support me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that.
She is the most spiritually based woman I've ever. So what Rachel does is take the cards, you know, tarot, and then she puts it, she homogenizes it to a spiritual foundation, and just supports people so much. Her reviews are off the chart. Anyway, so yes, what I'm doing here is that you are moving into calmer waters with the Six of Wands. Isn't that exciting? And I would suggest, even though you don't usually lean into this, maybe, I don't know, but to start writing down things that successes you have had in your work. Now, you say you're a workaholic. I love to work myself. I love this work a lot. And there are things you have learned that would benefit others eventually, possibly. And I'm saying writing a book or writing a blog or writing awarenesses where you could teach others how to synchronize up real deep spiritual awakening within the tarot, is what I see. And it shows here. Now, when I do my basic Celtic cross, I can see that in the very first card is that it's time for a little bit of a change, and you're interested in fast-moving energy. I do have the reverse. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do have the reverse Hangman here for you for where you're at right now, and you really are looking at a lot of things in a different way. But and Spirit is saying, I'm just going to say, your focus is too narrow of what your options are for this downtime in the winter in the Ozarks. It's too narrow. So,
you know what, Deb? Can I jump in for a second? Because it just popped in my head. Like Spirit just said, you got to ask Rachel if she's a member on the website. Rachel, are you even a member on the Tarot Guild website?
Well, I just went to the website for the first time today while listening to you all.
Oh,
and
great.
I am thinking about joining, but my way of reading cards is not the traditional way, so can I still get certified from you guys?
Oh, my God.
Because I want the crown and
love
the flash and the roses and everything.
If we accept all styles and methods, we're like maybe the only organization that does. We don't require you to read, write, or wait. We just ask that you can give a professional reading. You know, that's kind of
however
that's what it's about.
Very good.
So
I'll be in touch.
You can read TDM, you can read Thoth, you can read RWS, you can read your own way. You know, as long as it's like a solid, good reading and professional, right?
And
that's what we're about.
Right. That's all we're looking for. And the reason why I bring this up is because similar to what you were getting there, Deb, I got the Six of Swords for Rachel, you know, moving to calmer shores, but I'm also getting things like the Ten of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, and I really see that as her getting with other tarot people, and or even if it's not just, it doesn't even have to be just tarot, spirituality in general, but you know, especially tarot. And that's why I asked her about joining, you know, the Tarot Guild, because she could come over And I see that Three of Cups as her bringing, she mentioned she reads differently, and that's perfect. See, we want people to bring their point of view, and make the Tarot Guild even richer by having, more styles and more ways. We would love for you to come on, like we just mentioned with Debra, Rachel. Have you, Rachel, come on and do one of our little talks for our members, on a Zoom or something like that, and talk about the way you read and why you read that way. And actually, although Deb, even though yours is a little more traditional, still you do it in a very unique way with steps that a lot of readers either don't do it or don't know about. And you as well, we need to have you come on and talk about the way you read, because you have a fantastic way of doing it, and we'd love to hear Rachel's as well. Now I'll shut up and let you finish up with Rachel, but I just had to jump in.
Deborah, were you using your new deck for these readings?
Yes.
Oh,
I was
cool.
using my new deck. Yeah, I have a prototype here. That's it's not out yet, but it's Kait sent me a prototype, so I've been using that. But
cool.
One of the things that's exciting about a group reading like this, and this has happened, even during a one-on-one, is that we read energy signatures as psychics and advisors. We read energy signatures and impulses, and then we measure what those impulses are inside of the reading. You might have an impulse to call your mom, but will you really do it? Is it strong enough to call your mom? No, I don't know. So when I go in the middle of this reading, in the very beginning of this reading, it's interesting, we would get the same type of cards, decks, that moving into calmer waters, taking a break from the norm. And when I was saying, this is blowing my mind, I saw like the reverse hangman, which is resistant, not willing to make the necessary changes, maybe to make a change or different, or just really, really, really stuck, not knowing what to do. And then you come in and talk about different options to occupy her time for the winter, and I see it, and I'm just beaming inside, saying, "Oh my gosh, this group would be so good for Rachel, because you should read some of her reviews." One of the things that's about Rachel, I'm just going to blow you up a little bit, Rachel, is that as advisors, we want to we have people who call in who are in crisis, and our job is to back them up far enough from the situation to find some level of peace so they can make good choices. In general, that's what we do. What I do it on a very 3- and 4-dimensional way. I'm practical, and this is you stand up, you walk towards the door, you turn, that type of thing. And now Rachel does it, backs you up far enough from the situation to bring in spirit and the bigger picture, because sometimes people don't, if they're having a hard time, they don't want to hear that they might have a hand in that. But she's able to get that message across and make it a spiritual experience, and for these people, whereas I'm more nuts and bolts, she's more spiritual, but she doesn't make anyone mad. Because sometimes when you
I do get bad reviews. Deborah, Deborah, I called here to support you. You don't have to build me up. This is your time. Gosh.
See, it's a small world. You're so sweet.
It's a love fest.
It is, only because I think being social, she's not a very social person. In general, I'm feeling on you. And so that's where I was seeing the resistance. But now that Dax and Mary has invited you into the group, I think you have some fun things to go through. That's where we're going to leave the reading, is that to start thinking about putting into words or images what your process is, because the world could use it.
Excellent.
Rachel,
thank you so much, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Rachel,
thank you, Rachel.
write? I'm going to ask Rachel just a real quick question. Do you write any sort of, or how do you feel about the word affirmations?
Affirmations? I feel like it's tricking oneself to try to make you believe something that you don't really. So it really has to come from a deeper place if you're going to make changes than to feel like it's just in your brain, in your mind. It has to be something deeper in your heart. Did I answer the right question?
Told you.
I don't know, but maybe. No, for some reason I keep hearing the word affirmations. Like for some reason, if you were I had this image of you like sitting there, you know, and it's winter outside, you're in the Ozarks, and you're writing down affirmations like for a deck or something, and they've got a really funny twist to it. It's like real but humorous. But anyways, that's all I got. I didn't pull any cards.
That would have to be humorous, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel from a very young age that I am a writer. However, when I started doing this work, heck, I started back in the day of Miss Cleo, like over 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And so the urge to communicate has been very well fulfilled. I don't need to do it so much in the writing. I do it talking, thank God, almost every day, right? So, but I take that input from you, Debra, very seriously. That
Thank you.
It may be time for me to use my computer for other things than Tetris.
Yeah. Texas is also
boy, and that's dating
between
Miss Cleo and that's really dating. It's like Rachel doesn't even sound old enough to, you know, have been doing this in the Miss Cleo era.
I'm mature. I'm a mature reader.
I love it. Thank you, Rachel, for calling in today.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thanks, Rachel.
Supporting me.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays to you and Merry Christmas.
Have a great weekend.
And to everybody. And Deb and Mary. And
thank you so much for having me.
This was a lot of fun.
I had a great time.
I can't wait to have you back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got to come back.
I'd love to come back. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. And, you know, happy holidays to everybody out there. You know, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you do. What's are we in the solstice, Yule? You know, I mean, all that
Not
stuff.
Not
yet.
20 is it's around the corner.
It is.
It's around the corner. So everybody, you know, enjoy your holidays and, you know, have a lot of fun and be careful out there as well. And we'll be back on Wednesday. Oh, my God. I got to, set several alarms, Mary, because I never do a show on Wednesday. So I have to not forget. Don't sleep through the show. Yeah. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Bye, Deb.
Bye.
Bye, Deb.
Bye, Mary.
Bye, Jack.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.